Well then, I'm a little bit late, but hopefully nobody will hold it against me. 1 minute late, yeah, or maybe two. I don't know. Um, I've got to get a new keyboard because apparently my Windows key isn't working anymore. Neither of them are. So yeah, and maybe a new controller. I don't know. I'll try and test it on other games, see if it works, but that'll probably have to be after I'm done with this. So yeah, this is gonna be another casual stream. I'm just gonna be going through. I'm just gonna go ahead and be going through the previous level here. So I can get all the little goodies. Of course, trying to do a little bit of a completionist run here, so.
You can't just shoot a hole into the surface of Mars.
I wonder.
The portal is ready.
Oh yeah, that's right, I have two of these. Okay, yeah. That's right, I have two of these now. Let's see here. See here quick. Yeah. Don't have to bother with that. Hey there. Ooh. Yeah, sorry, you can't quite be doing that yet. Hold on. Let me just move this. And stop trying to grab it. Sorry about that. My cat loves to sit on my lap as soon as he's in here. So Peter's been a lap sitter ever since I've got him. Funny enough, my other cat, Kitty, for wherever the fuck he's at, started sitting on my lap a lot more often. I guess he's been getting a little bit jealous. Although he doesn't really act it towards this cat, he seems to be getting along fine with him. In fact, famously so. I didn't really go through the proper means of introducing them, and they seem to be doing just fine with each other. I might have to get another desk too. I'm not too sure. I hope not. There we go. Yeah. The little tray that kind of comes out is starting to break. Or maybe it's just always been fucked up. I don't know. So yeah, let's go and continue here. I gotta go and get crystal, Mr. Codex, gotta get an Empyrean key, and one album here. So yeah, let's see what we can do about that, shall we? And if it gets a little bit too, shall we say, easy, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know.
Dr. Hayden is just across the complex. This industrial campus was once the headquarters of the Resistance.
That's a little bit too loud for me. There we go. Okay. There's a thing right there. There's one right there that I've got to get to. There's the Empyrean key. Slayer gate, I gotta get through that then. So yeah, let's make sure that we get everything this time around.
Good news for the faithful. The deceiver, Samuel Hayden, has fallen.
This area is no longer secure. Evacuation protocol is in effect.
fuck off. Screw you. Make sure that I'm not missing anything that I go by here. Oh yeah, there's a shield, okay. Okay, I think I keep this up and yeah, okay. Okay. Let's go and go through the arsenal real quick. Alright. Launch 5 sticky bombs before having to reload the mod. Okay. I'm gonna wait till I can get all those in. So trying to make sure I don't pass by any secrets on accident here. Don't want to do that at all.
The Ark's headquarters is under attack.
Embrace your suffering, young advocates. Beyond the pain, there is enlightenment.
You're looking everywhere pretty closely now. So yeah. By the way, I saw the recent Cowboy Bebop episode. Rather the live action remake. Pretty good. I don't honestly get what it is that people are complaining about. Like, there's a lot of people apparently that are just going in there just to complain about shit, I noticed. Because there were some complaints that just made no motherfucking sense at all to make. Like, you know, people saying that they have ruined the character of Spike, for example. And the only thing really different about Spike in the live action is that he's not really as badass as the anime one. But that's primarily because, well, in the anime you could do a lot more things in it. Like, what was it? I think one of the things that Spike ended up doing in the anime was quite literally just to kick a missile up in the fucking air as it was airborne. Like, you can't really do that in live action without it looking really, really strange, or without it looking really, really fake, because, you know, CGI and whatnot. But I think they did fairly well. There's a couple of things I don't like, such as, you know, Faye Valentine, for example. Such as the change of Faye Valentine. It's not so much her personality that I dislike that they've changed, because that I do like. I do like what they've done with her personality, even though it does kind of come off as a little bit, what's the term I want to use? It comes off as a little bit stereotypical for a femme fatale. She's not exactly as interesting or as unique as she was in the anime. She's a lot more vulgar. But I think that works for her as far as the actress goes, because it gives her a lot more of a range to do so. I would have preferred that they go ahead and do it do the character like the original, but I wouldn't. But I don't really
Attention.
mind.
Samuel Hayden has fallen. The Ark is no more. Please evacuate immediately.
But I don't really mind what they've done with her. But what I do mind is the fact that they not so much turned her gay, which is like I don't really have a problem with, but it's the way in which they pulled it off. Because you know, she meets a mechanic, and the mechanic flirts with her a couple of times, and then it cuts from her to Spike's little bit there, because the entire episode is mainly about him, and you know, and then when it cuts back to her, when it cuts back to her, it's like they just got done having sex, and it just seems like it's only there just to sell the sex appeal of it all, rather than actually having a unique and interesting character for Faye to grapple onto. Because, she says that she wants her to come back to her once she finds out who she is and where she came from and all that stuff. And that's great and all, but we don't really get any kind of development on that part. In fact, at the very end, which of course, spoiler, this is going to be like filled with spoilers here, in that regard. But at the very end of it, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and find out who I am." The group's kind of falling apart, and that's it. She doesn't even mention the mechanic. Now, I'd have to go ahead and rewatch that last episode again just to make sure I'm getting that stuff right, because I may be remembering it wrong. But it's like, why have her develop that kind of thing or whatever? Like, it would have been much better had she like flirted with her. And then Faye's like, "You know what? I find you attractive, but I'm good. I don't remember who I am. I don't really have any kind of understanding of my past life. And I don't know if I'm bi or not. I mean, I find you attractive, sure, but I don't find you...
The entrance into Dr. Hayden's outpost is blocked.
I don't find you the kind of attractive where in which, like, I'm probably going to sleep with you at all." And I say that because, well, the way in which they handle it, it seems like they used her for sex, which, if I'm being perfectly honest, plays pretty much into the stereotype of, oh, you're only having a lesbian in here because lesbians are sexy, and they're like inherently sexual, which is something that the LGBT community has really fucking hated for like a long time. In fact, conservatives basically treat any kind of mention of homosexuality in a cartoon, whether it be lesbian or not. Where the fuck are these guys coming from? Lesbian or gay as inherently sexual. Like, the very act of having... What was it? Oh yeah, a good example of this would have to be the She-Ra reboot. It's like, treating She-Ra. God damn it. I mean, the She-Ra reboot, a lot of conservatives kept trying to treat She-Ra as, like, inherently sexual. Because, you know, she was a lesbian. And to be fair, there were, like, a lot of gay undertone, rather, gay overtones, in fact, in that regard. And due to a lot of these gay overtones, like people were saying, oh my god, they're trying to indoctrinate children into homosexuality and all this bunch of stuff and whatnot, and they're exposing children to sex, and it's like, well, that wasn't really the case. There were like a few things here and there that somewhat pointed at the fact that they were talking about sex or sexuality, I should say. It wasn't sexual in that sense. But, you know, the entire show more or less had... I want to say it did the whole gay overtones pretty well. But for the most part, it was just hammered constantly. By the conservatives. And unfortunately, that's a bit of a problem. But it's a problem with the conservatives, not necessarily with the show. But with this one, oh my god, it definitely is a problem with the show itself. Because the show should not be treating gay characters in this fucking year as, like, inherently sexual. Like, you have a gay character, she's gay, and that's, or he's gay, and that's, like, should be the end of it. It's like they're the same as you and I. They have the same, they have the exact same foundations of, like, want and desire, but they also have ambitions. They also have ideas on how to handle things. And it shouldn't really be treated any differently than anyone else. And yet, for some weird, strange fucking reason, the show treats it like that. So if I remember correctly... But yeah, not to mention it's kind of unnecessary. It's pretty much unnecessary, I say. Because, like, if you're doing an adaptation, why are you making Faye gay? I mean, Faye is, like, just one of the most heteronormative characters ever. She likes men, but she's very distrustful of them. And she's distrustful of them because she was fucked over by a man that she fell in love with. That she fell in love with because he like literally because he literally pawned off all of his debt onto her as when he did some sort of suicide run. So, you know, and ever since then, she's not able to earn anything. She's unable to have any kind of earnings throughout her entire life. And any bounty that she gets off, or gets off in having, is to be able to pay off that debt. That's a really, really unique sort of motivation. And it also gives you the sense of no matter what Faye does, she's always going to be paying off this bounty. And it was like the best way for her to be able to pay off her debts because of that. Whereas this Faye, she's just a bounty hunter because. But, you know, she's a bounty hunter because I guess she has a reason to do this because it gives her money and gives her sort of funding to be able to find out who she is, which is a good motivation, don't get me wrong, but it's not as much of a motivation or as much of a yeah, here we go, yeah, this is what I was looking for. It's not as much of an interesting motivation as you would have it if she had her original story. Now it's perfectly fine in my eyes, really, for things to be very different in this sense. So that's not what I mind. What I mind is the unnecessary change in that regard. You know? Not to mention, like, her romance, but her sort of romantic undertones or overtones, however you want to describe it as, with Spike, is very, very famous. Like, she's always on the cusp of always on the cusp of being able to confess her love to him, but she never does due to the episodic nature of the show in a lot of ways. Sorry, Cat, you can't be on me while I'm doing this, or... Yeah, you can. Okay, just... Sorry about that. So, you know, there we go. So, yeah. Um, let's see here. What else didn't I like in the Cowboy Bebop that I think is absolutely fair to criticize? Let me think here. Jet Black was fine. In fact, I think he was one of the greatest presentations of the character I've ever seen before. A lot of people keep saying, you shouldn't have made Jet Black black. It's like, okay, first of all, we all thought that he was black to some degree, at least given the fact of the dub, because the dub is so infamous and so fucking good that his character could very well be interpreted as black. Some people interpret his character as Native American, but it's like, okay, there's only really one scene, or really one episode where that really comes up in, and let's all be honest here, there were quite a few black people in America who have Native American ancestry, and who even identify with their Native American ancestry as well. So why not just go full on all the way in on it? Some people might say it's a little bit too on the nose. Some people might say it's a little bit too gratuitous in that sense. And that might be fair in some regard, but in others I just don't agree. So
This is Dr. Elena Richardson, log entry 0.
Let's see real quick. Codex. Found in the Fortress of Doom. Okay. Elena Richardson. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. Are there any other things I'm missing? Nope.
02. Subject analysis of Doomslayer, January 24th, 2163. There is no chance that the subject is a demon. We have blood samples pulled from the Mars base event. So his blood type is AB positive. He is male with a genome that makes him very much a member of the human race. But the enhanced strength, speed, and athleticism would indicate otherwise. But we can see from the blood samples that there are.
So what am I missing? I am missing. Okay, a codex, an album, and a sentinel crystal. So let's see if we can get one of those, shall we? I also don't really like the fact that a lot of people are just using two particular clips to criticize the show. There's the, there's the blackmail clip, which I'm gonna call, with Jet Black. Ah, okay, so they're right there. Okay, so how do I get there then? Okay. So that's where they are. Well, I'll refer to it as a blackmail clip, you know? And the reason why it is I refer to it as that is because, well... Let me see here real quick. It's because, you know, what was the lines? Oh, this is blackmail. Yes, Jet. Yes, indeed, Jet, because you are black and you are male. It's like a really corny set of lines that I can see that other people didn't like and thought that it was really, really incredibly cringy, but it's not indicative of the entire dialogue of the entirety of the show. So, it's like, why are you acting like that is the case? I mean... I think I know why, because people just wanted to go ahead and come in and hate the show, regardless of its merits. And some people are just looking for reasons not to watch the show in its entirety anyways. Which is fine. I mean, if you feel like you're going to be wasting your time watching the show, and you feel like you could have much better experience doing other things, that's fine. But don't like criticize the entirety of the show based on that. It's really dumb to do that. Also, not to mention, people are criticizing the reveal of Ed. Why? Because Ed acts like she does in the anime. Okay, consider this for a moment. Ed is a girl genius, for fuck's sake. And I don't know if you know anything about girl geniuses or anything like that, but these types of characters are typically. But these types of people typically have an IQ difference between you and the average person, between you and me, in fact, um, that really make it hard as fuck for them to socialize with other people. In fact, regular socialization with other individuals hurts them. It physically is painful. It is physically painful for them to lower their own expectations or their own intelligence or even their own language to be able to talk with people on their level. And due to that simple fact, it is really hard for them to act in a sort of quote-unquote normal way. Due to these little factors, you would think that people would realize or understand that, hey, this person doesn't act normally because they have such a high IQ, because they literally are incapable of being able to interact with us on a level that's, well, quote-unquote normal. So yeah, it's a thing, and like that would be played up even in the real world. Okay, let me go and see how it is I can get those two things here, because those are the only two things I need to get. Alright, it's a codex and the other thing there. Okay, so let's see here. Art complex, here we go. Eternal art complex crystal sentinel crystals, that's what they're called, yeah. I'll respond to those idiots later. I see. Okay. I see what's going on here now. Okay. I gotta go back a little bit then. make sure I was watching that correctly. Okay. Hold on. See. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Here's the codex. Alright. And I guess I'll go ahead. I guess I'll do this one then. Health for blood pickup. Okay. I could max out my armor though. Nah, I think ammo would be a lot better because I'm starting to chew through ammo pretty heavily, so there we go. Okay. Oh, that's done. Let's go ahead and go for the albums real quick. See Doom Eternal album locations. Art Complex album locations. This game is fun enough that I actually do want to get all the collectibles and all the secrets and whatnot, so alright. I already got this one, I think. Yep. No, I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one apparently. So let's see, where's that one at? Alright. Let me check and see where that one's at real quick. It is... yeah, it's all the way down there then, so I haven't gotten to it yet. So, yeah. Okay then. Let me just go ahead and open that up so that way I don't lose it there. Yeah, once I get this, as well as like do those other secret encounters, I think they're called, I'll go ahead and call it a day after this. So supposed to jump all the way over there. Christ, man. I am not a big fan of those types of encounters there. I could have chainsawed him, but where would the fun in that be?
No one is born a sinner. You have to work hard to achieve success.
Okay, that is legitimately funny. I don't remember if that was where that came from exactly. So let's see if we can get a second message out of it.
Evolution is our destination. When they arrive, we arrive.
Gee, I wonder who it might be referring to. Okay, let's see if we can get a third one out of that one.
No one is born a sinner.
Okay, nope.
You have to work hard to achieve success.
Okay. game. Yeah. Hey, what's up there? Sorry I didn't see you. Nobody's been like showing up for a long time, so. How you doing there, Flutterfly Spin? Yeah, I'm actually kind of playing on Hurt Me Plenty, so there's that. So that's why it probably seems a little bit easy for me, I guess. But yeah, earlier I was kind of just talking about, well, you know, Cowboy Bebop and how it is I don't really understand the whole hatred of it, but yeah, whatever. Okay. God damn. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to see what the deal is with this one here. Oh! Yeah, hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. I haven't been to AI server in a long time, you know, so. Anomaly Inc. He's pretty cool, but unfortunately he's got like quite a few reactionaries in his server, so. Not sure why you ended up retracting that though, so. But I guess you're not in here again. In here, so. Oh yeah, you are. Yeah. Sorry, there's a bit of a 10-second delay between when I get the when I get your message to, you know, when it is that I respond to it, apparently on the video. I'm hoping to be able to reduce that latency as time goes by. But yeah, let's see, I'm looking up how exactly I'm going to be doing this one. Okay. Let's see here real quick. Okay. Alright. Lock on there. Okay. It's just that. Okay. I see what I need to do now. Ah, okay, I see. Yeah, no, I get you on that part. Sometimes I do that too. No big deal. But yeah, I've been sort of talking a little bit about Cowboy Bebop, the live action remake, and how it's like good and how it is that I don't really get. Ooh, kitty just got off my lap. How it is that I don't really get the hatred that the show seems to garner. God damn. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and die here because, you know, it's gonna use up one of my extra lives here real quick. There we go. I might have to come back to this one though. But yeah, like, for example, there's just so much hatred used over the show with regards to two particular clips. You know, the whole Jet Black and male thing. It's corny, but it's not exactly out of the original. It's not indicative of the entirety of the writing of the rest of the show. So. Damn. Well, I guess I'll be coming back to this one. Yeah, the show is really good. I would suggest you check it out, but I would also suggest checking out the anime first, just for a point of reference. So, you know, a lot of people utilize the reveal at the end to say that, well, it's a bad show, but it's really doing it in a sort of dishonest fashion, if you were. At least that's how I feel. You know, without giving too much of it away, I just give it my full solid recommendation. And I'm usually pretty good when it comes to, you know, sussing out the reasons why it is that I like a show, you know. A lot of people aren't like, nah, you're full of shit. You know, a lot of people aren't like that with me. A lot of people are like, okay, I can see how you like this show that I didn't like, but I don't see what you're seeing in it. But, yeah. Let me see here. Maybe if I lock on burst. Yeah, maybe if I go ahead and do this real quick. This will help. Yeah. There we go. That will probably help a lot. There we go, finally. Got it. That's the first secret encounter into. Yeah. But it is a really pretty good show. In some regards, like, I can see why it is that some people would say, I don't consider Jet Black to be, like, an African American. But I primarily think that because, well, the dub actor is not only African American, the dub itself is just so good. Many people just consider it to be the definitive version of Cowboy Bebop, you know? You know how the... But then again, I'm not really partial to the whole dubs versus subs debate. But yeah. I usually like to use a slow-mo here. Yeah, like, the pro-Confederacy stuff is pretty much not up my alley. In fact, I consider it to be downright deplorable in a sense. Like, I get the whole sense of, oh, Southern pride, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm like pro-Confederacy because of, like, a rebellious spirit and whatnot. And, you know, it sort of encourages a, you know, spirit of the revolution, sort of say, or whatever, like, you know, the Confederacy, or this is kind of like the Founding Fathers stuff. I get those kinds of misconceptions, but in all honesty, like, knowing what the Confederacy was about, and knowing how things are, I'm not pro-Confederate whatsoever. Oh.
You believe the Doomslayer will save you? Your salvation lies with us, not him.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of propaganda given over. Hold on, I'd like to...
The UAC, changing the world, one
Okay.
soul at a time.
there is a lot of misconceptions and a lot of propaganda that's stated around the Confederacy, primarily because due to lost cause bullshit. But, you know, a lot of that is also attributed to the simple fact that a lot of that is contributed to the, like, 60s, or not the 60s, the 10s and the 20s and whatnot, in an effort to rehabilitate the image of the South by people like the Daughters of the Confederacy. So, you know. I'm not entirely too sure how prevalent it is amongst anomaly server that those views are there, but you know. God damn it, I gotta get rid of that pinky. I wouldn't say it's pro-fascist. I would say it's pro-slavery. It's got some really heinous views in there, like trying to preserve slavery as, you know, an institution of God and all that stuff. And unfortunately, there were some people in there, in the Confederacy, that were just simply drafted into there, against their will, in fact. Like my family, for example. My family was a part of the Confederate Army, but they were drafted literally out of their fucking homes. They were sort of drafted out of their homes, basically at gunpoint. In fact, the way in which it happened was that they sieged my family out of my home, at least on my father's side. My mother's side were Native Americans, so they didn't really have any involvement in that stuff. So, you know, and the reason why my family wasn't involved with it was because they were Irish. And if you know anything about the Irish during that time, they were pretty much treated not exactly as bad as slaves, but they were pretty much ghettoized within the same communities. They were treated very much, they were treated pretty much as like second-class citizens in such a sense. And the way in which they were treated was like, okay, you're not human, but you're not like a black person as well. So it's like, I think they were considered the missing link for all intents and purposes. In fact, this is a pretty good way in which I could pretty much show it to you here real quick. Hold on. Let me just activate this real quick. Anti-Irish cartoon. There's a very famous one that I like to refer back to give people an understanding of how the Irish were treated and viewed. Let's see if I can get a better copy of it. Let's see, where's the one with the wiki comments real quick? No, that's not it. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on real quick. Ah. Here we go. This is a good representation here. Yeah. As you can see, like, you have Russian, Spaniard, all the various different spaces from which they were at, and here you have the Irishman. That's Irishman right there, see? And it says, look here, you, everybody else is getting along, and you're all the time a kicking up a storm. Yeah, that's that was the view of the Irish. Not very pleasant, was it? So yeah. Oh yeah, proto-fascist. Yeah. The Nazis had a lot of inspiration, but yeah, they did take a lot from American Jim Crow laws in effect, which were inspired by the Confederacy. So you have like one sentiment removed from them. So yeah, that's pretty accurate. Anyways, let's take this off of desktop capture, go back to game capture there. Yeah, you could very much consider them proto-fascist, because their whole view was like, slavery is a natural condition, which a lot of people thought at the time. Even to some degree, Abraham Lincoln kind of thought slavery was a natural thing in a sense. In fact, I believe that his particular, Lincoln's idea to like solve the problem was, hey, I'm gonna ship all of the slaves, all of the black slaves, back to Africa. Like, wait a second, back to Africa? That assumes that they have any kind of connection to the place to begin with, like, which they don't. Yeah, there was a lot of anti-Catholic sentiment as well, too. Which only made things even worse. Like, oh my god, the Irish are not only, like, barely human, but they're also Catholic? Ew! You know? That was something that existed, that was a bit of a stigma that existed all the way back to the days of JFK, you know? Or rather, all the way up to the days of JFK. So yeah, it wasn't very good. It was not a very good sign to be Irish at all. And even if you weren't Catholic, if you said, oh, I'm Irish but I'm not Catholic, they would assume you were lying because they had the stigma that all Irish people are Catholic. Because how could you be Irish and not Catholic? They just. It was a really, really bad sentiment to have. So. Let me think here real quick. So yeah, in fact, one particular thing that isn't really talked about at all is the fact that whenever you had a group of Irish people who were trying to finish up their indentured servitude project, and they were getting pretty damn close, the companies would actively go out of their way to send mercenaries to kill the Irish family. That were just about to that they would kill the Irish family so that way because of the contracts that they signed that they primarily
to destroy the remaining tentacle.
Yeah, sorry about that. Because of the contracts that they wrote at the time, they largely made it so that way when an Irish family bought them, if the Irish family was killed before completing off their dues and whatnot, that they would inevitably go, that the company's land or the family land that was being put forth would actually go back straight back to the company. And it was because of this that very few Irish people actually had any kind of property outside of the cities. And inside the cities, by the way, they would primarily ghettoize them. So they didn't really have any... So they barely had any way of making any amount of income or any kind of property for themselves, which is why it was that they were mostly impoverished for a large portion of their existence here in this country. So, it wasn't until they started doing this whole policeman project of becoming policemen in the inner cities, did they start becoming more and more respected.
Our trans-dimensional friends shall not walk on tainted ground. Earth must be cleansed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's also another reason, too. Like the whole thing is, you're loyal to the Pope, you're not loyal to America, that was also a problem as well, so... Yeah. JFK did a huge speech. In fact, what is it? Let's play that real quick. Hold on, this is a good one. Let's see here. JFK Catholic speech. Here we go. Let's bring this up real quick. Yeah, this is what he had to deal with in a lot of ways.
Reverend Mesa, Reverend Rock, I'm grateful for your generous invitation to state my views. While the so-called religious issue is necessarily and properly the chief topic here tonight, I want to emphasize from the outset that I believe that we have far more critical issues in the 1960 campaign. The spread of communist influence until it now festers only 90 miles from the coast of Florida. The humiliating treatment of our president and vice president by those who no longer respect our power. The hungry children I saw in West Virginia. The old people who cannot pay their doctor's bills. The families forced to give up their farms. An America with too many slums, with too few schools, and too late to the moon and outer space. These are the real issues which should decide this campaign. And they are not religious issues. For war and hunger and ignorance and despair, no religious barrier. But because I am a Catholic, and no Catholic has ever been elected president, the real issues in this campaign have been obscured, perhaps deliberately, in some quarters less responsible than this. So it is apparently necessary for me to state once again, not what kind of church I believe in, for that should be important only to me, but what kind of America I believe in. I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute, where no Catholic prelate would tell the president, should he be Catholic, how to act, and no Protestant minister would tell his parishioners for whom to vote, where no church or church school is granted any public funds or political preference, and where no man is denied public office merely because his religion differs from the president who might appoint him or the people who might elect him.
So, yeah, you can watch the rest of the speech, but this was the one that primarily got him, or rather got people off of JFK's back with regards to religion, which is funny because a lot of the organizations that were constantly on his ass about that were, well, primarily evangelicals who literally were doing the thing that he was castigating churches and other people for doing. So yeah, American evangelicals were the primary critics of that, and were the primary people who were, fussing up a storm in that sense. Which, honestly, like, fuck that group. fuck evangelicals, to a large degree. And I say that as someone who says evangelicals should not hold office due to the simple fact that many of them have no understanding or no desire to actively serve this country in any particular fashion beyond, oh, I'm going to service the Bible. I'm going to turn America into a theocracy if I want to, because that's what Jesus would do. Very bad move. I'm honestly one of those people who are just more secular than anything else, really. But, if you're religious, and you are a very religious person, but if you don't want to push that into our nation's, as a part of a national interest, then it's like, okay, fine. But, yeah. But the anti-Catholic stuff was always weird for me. I get making fun of Catholics for being adherent to the popes, but American Catholics have always been weird in that sense because they don't have an allegiance to the Pope. They have an allegiance to national mythologies that they associate with their religion. But, let's see here. Okay, that isn't the album I'm looking for then. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and find out what that album is. Hold on real quick. Let's see here. It would be... Okay. Yeah, in some sense, I get that some atheists would, and honestly, I can understand that in some sense, but for me, I'm not anti-religious. I'm basically what you would call against religiosity. I'm not for religious conversion on a fanatical sense. I'm for people being able to express their own faith how they want to and how they desire, as opposed to how others want them to worship. How you worship and how you believe and what you believe should only be in concern of yourself, like Kennedy said. So yeah, and I guess I must have passed that. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be going back, or hopefully I can go back. If not, it's fine. yeah, yeah, and for good reason in some senses because this pope is kind of like the last one, but he's also somewhat better, uh, in a sense. You know, he's more accepting of homosexuality. He's more interested in having people try to be a part of his church, as opposed to just going to there. Um, and he's, I guess, in a sense, a little bit more progressive, but he still plays to the fucking what was it, to attempt to like run interference for the church parishioners that like diddle little kids. It's like, could we stop with that nonsense? So yeah. There are also some other problems as well. And honestly, like, a lot of people don't like it when their church leaders try to run interference for some of the more detestable of their group. God damn. Fuck. Man, they're ganging up on me pretty bad. Fucking Christ. Yeah. Damn, that was kind of hectic. Okay, where is that coming from now? Yeah, yeah, that is kind of weird, really. I mean, honestly, like, we live on this planet. Why the fuck wouldn't the Catholics be like? Why wouldn't the Catholics want us to take care of the planet? It's probably because quite a few of them believe in the whole like rapture bit, which is kind of weird, really. You know, I mean, that kind of nonsense really doesn't belong in the church, because the rapture is only like, what was it, 18th or yeah, 18th century stuff, or no, not 18th century, 19th century, yeah, with Margaret MacDonald, because she was primarily the one who spread it throughout the entirety of the Christian religion. So, a mentally ill woman confessing to a priest that she got, you know, confessing to a priest that she saw some kind of holy vision from God. God damn it. And her vision was that, oh, everyone is going to be swept up in a sort of heavenly vision, in a heavenly way, and the faithful will be saved at the end, during the end days. Before then, like, everyone was saying, oh my god, it's the end times, it's the end times, which it's like everyone had that view. Sorry, just trying to harvest these guys. There we go. Like, everyone had a view that the end times was going to be coming, but nobody knew quite when, and nobody knew what was going to happen. People thought, oh, this might happen, or this might happen, or this might happen. No one really had any idea. There were all kinds of different theories and notions, but right when Margaret MacDonald had her little thing there, for some reason, everyone and their fucking grandma began to think, oh, the rapture is happening, or it's going to happen. Which it's like... So, yeah. Yeah, that is kind of weird. It was brought into existence by anti-Catholics in a sense, but again, the original priest that heard it was himself Catholic. So think of that for a second. I mean, like, okay, it was brought into existence or primarily popularized by anti-Catholics, but it was also spread by a Catholic priest. Figure that one out. Religion is fucking weird. That's all one can really say. So, but hey, when it comes to doctrine, sometimes certain doctrinal beliefs become so popular that a church has no choice but to adopt it. Otherwise, they end up losing parishioners. It's why it was, for example, why Galileo and various other individuals started becoming, started becoming persecuted, because the Protestant church deemed their views as heretical, that they were spreading heresy and whatnot. Even though all they were simply doing was doing everything that was basically in line with what the church taught. But yeah. balls are starting to hurt. You know, that little feeling where you've been sitting far too long and the bottom of your nutsack starts like itching and whatnot and starts hurting a little bit. That's what I'm kind of going through right now at the moment. So I have to get up for a little bit. So yeah. Ah, there we go. That's what it was. Okay. I was looking in the wrong place there. Yeah, true, because when you're sitting on your leg starts going numb because you're cutting off circulation to, you know, because you're cutting off circulation to the rest of your leg. So let's see here. Let's, just so I don't waste any time here, or I don't waste any ammo, I should say. Let's see here. Secret encounters, okay. Okay, so okay. Okay, this is going to be kind of easy then. Okay, that's pretty easy then. Yeah. Yeah, that pop noise with the Keiko Demon's eye is a nice touch. I do like that. Let's see here, okay. That's fucking dumb. Like, I got it right at the end, but because he didn't pop, it's like, okay. There we go. That was fucking dumb, you know, because I did a little kill there, but because he, like, didn't die at, like, the last fucking possible moment, I failed a little bit there. Oh well. Not that big of a deal. At least I only lost one of these. Yeah. Oh, Oh, the other thing, by the way, is I'm kind of working on a Legend of Korra rewrite. I'm currently on the 18th page of the script, not quite done yet, but yeah. Yeah. So since I'm pretty damn close, I might as well go and continue it. So, or oh yeah, that's right. Might as well get the. There we go. Yep. But yeah, I'm working on Legend of Korra rewrite. Not done with it yet, but what I will be doing though is that I'm going to be going ahead and finishing up the rest of the first draft of the script, and then I'm going to be doing some research on a few points here and there that I did, that I mentioned, as well as reading the comics to get a bit of grasp on it, write a second script for it, and then present that for critique and comment and all that stuff, and then finally it'll be good to go on that one once I get around for the third, once I do my third and final draft there. So yeah.
One moment. Override successful.
Just to give
The
you
path is now clear. You can access Dr. Hayden's outpost.
Just to give you an understanding of where it is I'm coming from, I don't consider Legend of Korra to be a bad show. I just consider it to be a show with massively wasted potential. You know. So, yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary on it, but I consider... Oh, no, not wasted potential. That's the wrong word. I meant squandered potential. Yeah, squandered, by the way, is very different. I'm going to go ahead and make sure to clarify that in the script, which I have. Yeah, sorry, I don't have time for you right now. And an example of this would be the very first season, in fact. You know how there's this whole thing between benders and non-benders? Well, I've noticed something going through the entire series and making my notes, is that there seems to be more of an issue... There seems to be more of an issue with, Christ. There seems to be more of an issue with property makers taking advantage of those without, regardless of their status as vendors. Like for example, Mako and Berlin, they end up getting cheated out of all of their pro bending earnings in a very sort of very dishonest fashion that's reminiscent of oh, you earned all this stuff, but let me go and take away all your earnings in a sort of very dishonest calculus. That, for the most part, I just decided. Like, so yeah. Hey, Autistic Beaver. Yeah, I hate those guys too. They're the only ones that I really have a huge issue being able to deal with effectively. Like, everyone else I can deal with just fine. But those little fuckheads, holy shit, man. I know you're supposed to use this little grenade here, but fuck me if I can never, like, remember to switch over to it. So, yeah. Yeah. And there does seem to be that fact. You know, but then again, the show seems very uninterested in being able to explore that. Like, how the fuck is there a shantytown with benders and non-benders if there's a sort of bender establishment that is basically, you know...
Warning. All ARC personnel, the mortally challenged have entered the compound. Evacuation is advised.
You know, I mean, how can there be a shantytown with when there's supposed to be some kind of establishment favoring benders and non-benders? Seems to indicate that there is some kind of wealth disparity going on there that's being harnessed by either side of the spectrum that just keeps people of lower income down, you know? Who owns the factory, in fact, that Mako ends up generating electricity for? It's not really assumed as much, but we can assume that he's a non-bender, maybe. You know, since since it probably doesn't take a bender to maintain the inner workings of that stuff. So yeah. Damn. Yeah, these levels are fucking cheap. Like, this shit. Well, yeah, that's kind of the corporate design, isn't it? It's like they're not mortally challenged, they're fucking demons. Mortally challenged would be like a ghost, for example. You know? Or a human being that was flayed alive and turned into a demon. Those are the mortally challenged, because they're mortal human beings who have been taken and whose bodies have been mutilated in some regards, or who have gone insane through ghosts. Like, what was it? Mortally challenged, referring to a lot of the creatures that you deal with the supernatural? Yeah, it's kind of a transformation of humans, but this shit, no, it's just they're demons. Like, that is a mortally challenged individual. The guy I just bashed the head in right there. Since it's kind of implied that these little zombie creatures are just human beings, you know? But it's hard to tell, really. But the rest of the demons are not that case. But I can just assume that the UAC, or portions of the USC that Dr. Olivia was able to convert over to her side, were basically able to utilize quite a bit of the rhetoric quite a bit of their rhetoric and their influence to get people to accept this shit. So, yeah.
This is Dr. Elena Richardson. Log entry 007.
Oh yeah, we can listen to this stuff later on if you guys want, but yeah. Let's see here real quick. Elena Richardson. Hold on. Samuel Hayden. Yeah.
March 3rd, 2163. And with him lies our salvation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again an example of what I was talking with Autistic Beaver with the other day. It's primarily an example of the sort of corporate Malthusian line of utilizing deceptive language to get people to accept certain things and certain ideas without any cause, you know? While at the same time having it be very, very
Attention.
bad
Emergency protocols
for your
have
health
been
and very,
activated.
very much
Please
bad
exit
for
the facility now.
who you are as a person. So yeah.
My God, Dr. Hayden was convinced that you would come here for this eventually.
Yeah, I'm not gonna up the difficulty of this at all. This game is kind of already hard as it is. I'm using a controller anyways.
Can I just say that it is an honor for me personally to meet you?
I do like how everyone's fawning over you just to meet you, but the Slayer doesn't really
Attention.
give a shit.
Emergency protocols have been activated.
That's right, get the
Please
fuck out of my
exit the
way.
facility now.
We don't know how to access his main cortex. It's all alien. We couldn't figure it out. We have to prepare for his careful extraction. We were given specific orders.
His life signal is barely readable.
Warning. Demonic presence threat level 5 entering main laboratory.
There we go.
Opening the portal now.
This chair is starting to give out. I've had this one for about years and years, so.
You were never one of us. You were nothing but a usurper, a false idol. My eyes have been opened. Let me help you to see, Slayer.
God damn it. Well, that was kind of easy. Yeah. I'm playing this on Hurt Me Plenty, which is like the second lowest difficulty. Oh, you need to have a disability to give up your soul. Yeah, kinda. I mean, any of my friends that say, hey, you want to give up your soul? And I'm like, nope. I don't even care if you're serious or joking. I'm just not going to take it. I'm just not going to say yes. Because only a moron says yes to that kind of shit. even to your friends. And I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any of the heaven, hell, horseshit or whatever. I don't even believe I have a soul. But if I do have one, I'm not going to say yes to giving it up, because that's a bad thing, honestly. So yeah. Finally got everything. Yeah, right trigger thing doesn't work quite right, but I'm not too sure why. Yeah, I might have to get a new controller, although I'd have to check. I don't know why it is that right trigger won't work. See, watch this. See, I'm pushing the right trigger, yet it doesn't work. But for some reason I can fire my gun just perfectly fine.
You can't just shoot a hole into the surface of Mars.
The portal is ready.
Yeah, it seems like the right bumper is starting to phase out as well, because you're supposed to hit it twice, and it switches over, but it doesn't do it all the time. So yeah, I might have to get a new controller here. Although then again, this kind of does go into my keyboard bit here. Been streaming for about 2 hours. Let me think here real quick. Mars Core, Terra Sabah, Master Level Remix is a new reimagined hand crafted version of the original mission. Think of it like a new game plus, straight from hell, from the hell-bent minds of in software. Okay. Master Level Pack challenges the Super Core next mission. Provides a set of challenges to complete for rewards. These are all guaranteed to put your skills to the test. Okay, gives me that. Gives me that. Gives me that. Yeah. Is there anything I can have over here in terms of Sentinel batteries? That is, yeah, that would be extremely funny. The easiest mode in this game should be a middle finger for those who pick it, and replace every demon in the game with marauders. Either that or make the game so easy it's basically walking simulator. You know what? Fuck it. I'd say just turn it into a walking simulator and call it game journalist mode. So yeah. Let me see here. I want to continue. Unfortunately, my balls are hurting, so I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and give it up here. So yeah, I'll come back to this like in the next. I guess, let's see. What day is it today? Today's Friday, isn't it? Let me check real quick. No. Ah, damn. Yeah, it's Friday. So I'll continue Monday. And we'll do it then. But right now, I gotta go ahead and get off here because, again, my balls are hurting. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. It was a nice chat with you, Autistic Beaver, while you were still here. Fortunately, you couldn't be here throughout the entirety of the time, but hey, it's all good. Watch the rest of the stream if you can, and like and like the stream if you liked it. See you guys later.